Because, like, honestly, healthcare is about as dry as the chicken neck that my mother serves every Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, good one. Weird. It's all presentation. When one delivers a speech, whether this one or an interesting one or whatever, it is a triumph. It's a triumph if he can deliver it well. Because if he does, they'll be his. Rhetoric is the art of ruling the minds of men.
Oh my god!
What?
This isn't a perfect paper. It's got a 35 out of 50, and I see why. Welcher, we're a step ahead of you.
I'll be right back. I'm going to get some baklava.
The fool? So this kid, he didn't state his name, was supposed to describe from an objective point of view what he looked like in this photo of him, and he totally blew it. First sentence. Anyone looking at this photo would see a generic student. He looks just as easily a blue-collar criminal as he does a student. Gods, this is crap. And that's retired.
Well, we know we learned from this. Objective means objective. None of this assumption's crap. Time. That's another important writing skill to have, and to not put as much as you know and to not put as much as you know if you're not supposed to. I bet he learned it his lesson.
The fool? This is Hemingway. Did she seriously think that she could fool us with this? I mean, come on. Of course Hemingway could write the perfect English paper. I mean, come on. Who's a graphnik is she trying to fool?
Hemingway's writing is fabulous. I love it, 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 I love it. I never used to like him. But now I do. I love him. I love it.
Oh, apparently. This is an author-style rewrite assignment. So it's just a bunch of her perfect English students perfectly writing their perfect English papers. Wow, I'm a big fan of Hemingway. My favorite story being The Cat in the Rain. Gosh, the characters just get to me, you know?
Well, I can detect a fake from a mile away. Let's see how well this perfect paper models Hemingway. My God, this is perfect. But there's something funny. Can't quite place it. Oh my God. This is Jehum Lahiri, written like Hemingway.
I love Lahiri.
I hate to say this, but I can't detect this as a fake. I mean, it must be written by a student. But that it's just, how do I describe it?
Perfect.
Yes, that's it.
So let's see. He says, she let the strap of her satchel plump with files slip from her shoulders and left it in the hallway as he walked to the kitchen. She wore a navy blue poplin raincoat over gray sweatpants and white sneakers, looking at 33 like the type of woman she'd once claimed she would never resemble. It says March 19th. Is that today's date? She unclipped her hair and pried the sneakers from her feet without untying them. She wasn't this way before.
Wow. That put into one paragraph what Lahiri would take 3 pages to say, like Hemingway. This student really got to the essence of what he wanted to say and really made his point well. All this while, he still maintained Lahiri's voice. But it is a very abridged manner. Quite excellent. Perfect, I would say. Here is an original. He went through and highlighted all the essence lines that were the ones that we used to rewrite Brilliant. Brilliant.
Well, that's what you do when you need to abridge an author. It's excellent indeed. That's one great example of transferable skills, how to read.
Wow, here's another similar perfect paper. It appears to be Poe. Wait, this is Poe. The fool.
Poe was no fool.
No, Welcher, trying to seek us some obviously perfect papers by the masters of macabre just to fool us. We won't be fooled!
So what is this short story?
It's a sequel to the cast of Amontillado.
A rare work of Poe's you found. Wow, that's brilliant.
Perhaps maybe it isn't Poe. I mean, these papers are perfect, after all.
Perhaps. Maybe you're stupid. Who even says perhaps maybe?
Well, I mean, I'm sure that someone besides us would know if Poe had written this back Y1.8K or whatever it was. I could really just be another crafting assignment.
I'll have to believe you for the reason of practicality, but I'm still convinced that this is Poe, you know.
In the snow.
What?
Just a rhyme, you fool.
Listen to this. The stone gave way, and after a shriek of pain from the inside of the tomb, I saw both of his hands, scratched and trickling ichor, now emanating from the 2 stone wide shot. I could see his bones and veins protruding when he clasped hard on the lip of the slot, struggling to pull his body through the outside of the tomb. Is that Poe, or is that... No.
That's Poe.
Well, I think it's not, for reasons of practicality, which I stated before.
Well, actually, you didn't state them. You said simply that you had these reasons of practicality.
Well, he's got a lot of stuff here. He's got the style, he's got the sentence structure, he's got the vocabulary. Go Poe.
Indeed, he crafted this well. I'm almost convinced myself that this is legit Poe. That was the millennium that computers came out, wasn't it? So it's not like he was writing this with his hands.
Well, assuming he's just a student, he did a brilliant job mimicking Poe. In addition to what you said before, he had very Poe-like expressions, and there's also a lot of grade sheet attached up top.
Right. Poe wasn't really into grading his own work, if I recall correctly. In that case, let's say a student wrote it, and it wasn't actually Poe. I'd say he, the student, I'd say this is a great example of something the student learned about writing.
This word, this single word, has just changed the way I think about Jean.
Again?
Yes. Dig this. My brief burst of animosity, lasting only a second, a part of a second, something which came before I could recognize it, and was gone before I knew it had possessed me. What was that in the middle of this Holocaust?
Well, he's making stupidity sound okay by comparing it to World War II. He's thinking, millions of people are dying. Does it really matter if a rich kid breaks his leg?
Yes, that is it. By doing this, God 11, Knowles, makes us think of these Jean as being in the middle of this transformation, where he doesn't really want to take full responsibility for what he did to Finney, God 23. So he's taking the blame, but not fully, you know?
Indeed, that one would change the way you think.
So you've done it! You've analyzed the perfect English papers to the death. You found the good stuff and didn't waste your time on foxes. The papers are now yours. I must fly away.
Hold on a second there. Why so much separate piece stuff?
I love separate pieces. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. Not only because it is the Bible of the planet, but also because I love the characters in the story. There's so much in it. I could spend 10 days on every word and still not find everything in the story. The whole idea of the separate piece is an amazing concept, and how Finney and Jean decide to conform or not conform, decides what kind of leader they are, and how they're defined as men. You can see in Jean's reaction the general human nature, which drives him to lie to Finney and then want to tell the truth. And all, it's truly brilliant. Take the papers. I have books to analyze.
Brilliant.